Sharp Cam here, coming at you with another episode from ChooseYourRelationships.com, off of Love Can't Wait, which can be found on Amazon.com. And I got a question from a long-time listener, and he has a problem just like I had years ago. And he said he's 28 years old. He's been talking to this girl that's 25 years old. And he said it seems like he has a problem with having conversations with her at times. And he says it's hard for him to approach other women along with his woman that he's around most of the time with different topics. It's hard to hold conversation. It's very difficult for him to interact with people, especially strangers. So he wants to know, how does he overcome his approach anxiety? And that's a good question, man. You know, when I had the same problem, and I'm gonna tell you what I did. When I was younger meaning like when I was a teenager, I was very shy. I mean, I was so shy. I mean, if you didn't say anything to me, I didn't say anything to you. But I wasn't like that if I knew you personally, though. Now, I was only like that if you were a stranger, or maybe I never seen you before. But I realized that, you know, at some point in time, I was going to have to grow out of that and find a way to push through that, because there was a fear that I had. The biggest fear that I had was just being around people, being around a lot of people. See, when it comes to approaching people, approaching women, or approaching anybody, one of the biggest challenges you just have to get used to being around people. You have to get comfortable being in your own skin. You have to practice, you know, because repetition is the mother of skill. So that was the biggest thing that I had to overcome, because I didn't really start hanging around a lot of people until I went to college. I started hanging around the athletes and the track stars and the football players, and I started going to all these big ass parties, college parties off campus. And that's when I really I started to get used to being around a lot of people. But what I really got used to being around people when I went in the Navy. When I went in the Navy, that's when I was pretty much wide open. That's when I kind of I guess you could say I kind of cracked the code. I kind of got used to being around women. I got used to being around a lot of people. I got used to being around a lot of beautiful women, all types of women from all over the place, all over the world. And one of the biggest things that held me back was fear. Fear that somehow, if I was afraid of the response, the reaction I would have gotten from the woman that I approached. And I realized after just looking back now that even the times that I did get a little rejection, which doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, nothing really happens. I mean, my life is not gonna change. I mean, I'm not gonna die. You know, I mean, I'm just gonna move on. You know, she's gonna move on. We don't know each other, and you just keep it moving. You know, but it's just back then it was more of it was more about me than anybody else. You know, that's how it really felt. It's kind of a weird dynamic that happens, you know, because it was more of I felt like if I got rejected, I was going to be embarrassed. You know, I felt like I would be embarrassed around my friends, or even when I was by myself, I felt like I always had that that gut feeling like, you know, what if this happened? What if that happened? What if this? But none of it really matters, because if it hasn't happened yet, oh well. You know, so I think how you get past approach anxiety is you have to just practice doing it over and over. Now, some guys would say, well, give me a pickup line. Give me what do I say or whatever. But here's the deal. It doesn't really matter what you say sometimes. It depends on who you are and how you say it and the environment that you might be in and the vibe between you and this other person, or the energy that's in the room more than anything else. Because you can say some stupid shit sometimes and women will laugh. So it's not so much having the perfect pickup line or anything like that. And a lot of these guys that call themselves pickup artists, you know, these guys are relentless, and you can learn something from these guys because, you know, they use the same pickup line and they regurgitate and say the same line over and over to the same girl probably 50 to 100 times in one night. And the only good part about that is after getting rejected probably over 90% of the time, they become immune to the rejection after a while because they're relentless. So they're kind of building up a muscle. They're kind of building up a mindset where it's like they don't really care about the response or how the woman reacts to whatever they say, and that's a good thing. But on the other side of the coin is, if you gotta play the pickup artist game, it's gonna become a numbers game, you know, and your chances of getting a phone number or whatever your goal may be at that given time with whoever the woman you're approaching, your percentages and your numbers going to be very small. You know, out of 50 women, you might get 2 phone numbers, if that. You know, but if you understand the psychology and it's like a science to approaching and talking to people that you never met any in your life. If you understand it, if you understand how the other person thinks and how they feel, then it becomes kind of natural. It's like just holding a conversation that matters more than in a pickup line or anything like that. And I created a whole program about this. I mean, and I explain the psychology of being in certain environments and how to mingle and how to talk with women and how to talk with just people in general. And I don't care if you're at the bar, at the restaurant, at the gas station, at Walmart. I mean, and today I do this shit all the time. It's easy, but it doesn't seem like I'm trying. It seems effortless because, like I said, repetition is the mother of skill. So if you keep doing something over and over and over again, it becomes like a part of you. It becomes like a lifestyle. You know, it's kind of a way of being in a sense. So it's much bigger than just approaching women. My motivation for learning how to approach complete strangers was because I look at it like this. The more people I can meet, the more opportunities that gives me to live a better life, to create more opportunities, and to help other people all at the same damn time. That was my motivation, to learn how to approach and get comfortable with complete strangers, whether it's male or female. So if you want to learn more about this, click the link below this video and you can read up on more about that and how you can overcome You'll approach anxiety if you got them. So if you like what you heard, subscribe to my channel, share this message with your people on your social media networks. And if you got questions, I got answers. Until next time, Sharp Gamers out. Peace.